Our second panel for today focuses on the theme of urban mobility transformation, achieving efficient and sustainable last mile connectivity in Mumbai. For this, we welcome our moderator, Mr. Vinod Kumar Menon, editor of Special Investigation at Midday, and our panelists, Mr. Rajiv Jalota, IAS, former Chairperson, Mumbai Port Authority, Mr. Samir Unhale, Joint Commissioner, Department of Municipal Administration, Government of Maharashtra, Mr. Jerin, Venad, CEO and co-founder, Cityflo. Applause kindly, everybody. Thank you. Unfortunately, Mr. Rachaprolu, who was also supposed to join us today, could not. He's Executive Director, Mumbai Metro Rail Corporation. Due to health reasons, he was not able to join us. We can commence the panel.
Hello. Good afternoon to each and everyone who is present in this room. So we are going to have a topic today, urban mobility and transportation, achieving efficient and sustainable last mile connectivity. A topic which is very interesting. So this is also important because I'll just read a small note that I have made on this. An essential topic is because it's also a part of Viksit Bharat, the 2047 vision that India is looking up for. And it is equally important because Mumbai, which is also known as Amchi Mumbai, or Mumbai Meri Jaan, or the city of dreams, is the beating of heart of India, a vibrant, bustling metropolis that serves as the nation's financial and cultural hub. As we approach India's centenary of independence in the year 2047, the dream of a Viksit Bharat, or a developed and prosperous nation, is more tangible than ever. In the vision of Viksit Bharat, or a developed India, efficient, sustainable and accessible urban mobility is key to unlocking the full potential of the country's cities, and Mumbai stands at the heart of this transformation. While the city boasts of an extensive public transport system ranging from local trains, metros to buses, one of the most pressing challenges is ensuring last mile connectivity. The vital link that ensures commuters can seamlessly reach their destination from major transit hubs. The issue of last mile connectivity is a central piece in achieving a truly Viksit Bharat, where mobility is inclusive, equitable and environmentally sustainable. To explore these issues, we are fortunate to have an incredible panel of experts with us today, representing a wide range of expertise and experience in urban planning, sustainability, transportation and governance. I would request the members here to please welcome our panel members with a round of applause. I would start with a question to all our panel members. It's a common question which you all can turn by turn reply to. What crucial elements do you believe will most significantly determine Mumbai's success to achieve resilient and sustainable urban expansion in the ensuing decades? So, Mr. Jalota, if you can throw light on it.
Thanks, Vinod. In fact, the way Mumbai is now growing its connectivity infrastructure, which was very long overdue. In the next decade or so, definitely, one will see a lot of improvement in quality of commute for the citizens of Mumbai, definitely. But the topic of our discussion is last mile connectivity. And there, yes, there is a lot to be desired. Actually, I have been a witness to this because 2 years while in service, I was commuting by local between Navi Mumbai and Mumbai. I was Commissioner Employment and Self-Employment. Office was in Navi Mumbai. So many a times I had to come to certain stations within Mumbai during afternoon, evening, something like that. And I could imagine the plight of passengers witnessing firsthand the problems. Then I also actually biked in the last couple of years in Mumbai early mornings, several times, 20, 30 kilometers. And I saw that there also that is a different issue, we don't have bike lanes and all. But people who are on, say, buses, taxis, cars and all, they just don't know how to tackle a bike. So that's a big behavioral issue. Then all the various places when we were planning, say, metros, and I happened to be part of certain committees and all. So this was a big challenge in a brownfield city, that how to manage the last mile connectivity. But still, I think with collaborative efforts, because unfortunately we have several agencies working in Mumbai. Say the local train is with the railways, metro is with a couple of corporations, the bus service is with BEST, and then there is the transport department looking after the shared taxis, the traffic police department also responsible for this, and Mumbai Municipal Corporation has to provide the basic facilities around those stations or the stops where these shared mobilities have to come in picture. These have to be brought together, and I think the way government is working, it's creditable, but much more needs to be done, because otherwise we will lose this opportunity, because the stations will come, then lot of commercial development will happen around stations, and then you will not get public places for utilizing this. So that's my initial take on this.
Mr. Unhale, if you can throw some light on the point what I had asked.
So first of all, thank you for this invitation, and congratulations for conducting a event that is at very close to the commuters and the citizens of Mumbai. As we know, almost 80% of the population is a commuter of one type or another. So if you are, say, 2 crore people, then 1.6 crores are commuting at some moment every day. Maybe from school-going boys to people taking evening walks, whatever. So one, of course, is the issue of land use planning. Are we allowing dense cities or spread out cities like the American suburbanism? So that will be issue number one. Number two is the modal split, as it is called in transport planning, that different modes are used for different purposes, and this ultimately accumulates into the passenger kilometers of the entire city in a day. For example, if we are 1.6 crore people traveling around in Mumbai, maybe average 10 kilometers, so that will be the passenger kilometers done, and mode would be either walking, it will be rickshaw, it will be taxi, Uber, best bus or other city buses, metros, monos, locals, and that maybe cycling to an extent. So we are looking at a matrix of different purposes, different age groups and different modes of traveling. And therefore, any solution that we are talking of for the last mile connectivity, this offers a good conceptual framework as to what can be done and how it needs to be analyzed and come up with probable solutions. So regarding, there are many experiments are happening in commuting, like Uber 15 years back started, like hailing service, taxi services. There are micro mobility concepts, micro hailing service, like you have buses which will go to your home if you give it a call, like picking up from your school, for your people pick up the school kids traveling. So there are certain cities which have tried this kind of concept. When you book it, your bus will, city bus will come at your defined location, and you take it and you walk off. So probably, I always feel so that now we are in 2025, and the municipal framework is of 1800 vintage in all over the world. So probably the governance framework, the basic, the stilt on which, the framework in which the governance is working, probably will have to be more flexible and dynamic and more transactional to an extent, and this could be the, I think, the foundational assumptions and work that will be required if we are talking of making impact on last mile connectivity. Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Unhale. Jerin, if you can put in your view on this.
Hello. Yeah. Thank you for the question and thank you for having me here. I think I'm aligned with what Rajiv sir and Samir sir have mentioned here. I think as a Mumbaikar, like the development of the metros is a super exciting time. I think finally as the lines come into life, we also can justify the pain that the city has gone through for the last 5 to 7 years. But I think the scale of public transportation after the metro is fully developed is unprecedented, as I understand when I look at any other cities globally. I think that will definitely change the shape of daily commuting, and I think it is a project of such scale. Like I think one of the panelists earlier mentioned how it's taken about 150 years to do that in certain cities. So I think in the life of a city, 1 or 2 decades is not as long a period as it's in our personal lives, right? So that's definitely one which we all know is happening. I think the other part definitely is how we should look at buses. Like while rail will do its job, road as a medium has a fundamental advantage of better accessibility. Rail can never do that, right? So, and in fact, I was recently talking to someone who spoke about even the current BEST system. The stop network covers 94% of the households in Bombay within a walking distance. That even for our Mumbai locals and metro, today is about, I think, 48% will move to about 62%, 64% after the metro is fully completed. So it will always be an advantage that the road modes have. And so I think investing in buses is not a choice for us. We should definitely do that. And I think the number of buses, like I think someone mentioned earlier, is at about 3,000, 3,500 right now. And as per estimates, we need at least 15,000 of them. And I believe, like with my experience with in this subject, I think moving to private operators, operating the buses while BST maintains controls, I think is an essential step for a certain efficiency. And of course, we should subsidize buses, but once that comes to the picture, you have to look at how do you minimize that necessary subsidy so that it's sustainable and you can keep investing in that.
True.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jerin. My question now goes to Mr. Rajiv Jalota. As the former chairperson of Mumbai Port Authority, the Mumbai port areas have enormous potential for redevelopment. How do you envision using this space to promote sustainable urban development, perhaps through the mixed use of developments that integrate green space, commercial zone, and residential areas?
In fact, the plan of redevelopment of a portion of the Mumbai port, because Mumbai port land area has lot of heritage precincts like Ballard Estate and Apollo Bandar and all, which will continue to remain like that. Then there are certain areas which are port areas, which will continue to remain working as ports. But there are certain areas which were carved out in the range of about 600 to 700 acres, which can be redeveloped into a modern city. But leases were subsisting on those lands. So that issue remains once the policy decision is taken on how the leases will be tackled for future. But the way design has been done of the new city, that it is based on the pattern of, say, Ballard Estate, or the way Barcelona is designed or Manhattan is designed, where the street space and open space is taking more than 68% of the area, and very less private space is kept. So most of the space is used for public purposes, and that is the beauty of that whole design that has been done. And plus it has been designed in a way that whatever floor space area is needed at a particular location, that is also defined. so that there is no discretion for future. Everything is designed, and based on the different modes of transportation, because since it has a waterfront, it has water transport places also available there. A Metro 11 actually will be passing through this area. Harbour line passes through that area, and plus walkability is 400 meters maximum to any of the public transport place, as well as design has been made for bike routes, and all that thing has been kept in mind while designing the new city. If at all that city, once it comes up, and Mr. Shankhe is here, he is also recommended it through Niti Ayog to Government of Maharashtra and Government of India. So that city will be taking care of these aspects, that the quality of life is better, commute is better, walkability is better, and bus stops also now, what Venad is saying, that also have been kept in mind while designing that modern city. So most probably, if it happens, it can take care of about 5 lakh population.
That's a good number.
And it will be mixed use that has been proposed, and lot of areas earmarked for tourism purposes as well, because there are less real tourist spots in Mumbai. So how that area can be a lively tourist place, and including a garden has been designed also. If some without reclamation, it will be about 58 hectares, and if reclamation is allowed, then it may become 142 hectares of a central garden.
But is there a time frame for all this, or it's just on paper that makes us happy to hear all this?
Until and unless the leases issue is taken care of, how the leases will be taken care of. Yeah. Otherwise, the planning of the city part, that Government of Maharashtra and Mumbai Port together are almost aligned.
You also need the center permission for that, right?
No, permission from Government of India is not required for the city planning, because that authority is with Mumbai Port under the new act.
So the subsequent question that I have for you is, ports generate significant waste, including marine debris and operational byproducts. How do you look upon it, like, how this waste can be minimized and recycled, and how it can be used, the port waste could be used in the construction of sustainable infrastructure in urban development projects in and around that port area?
In fact, as per the IMO mandate, International Maritime Organization, there is MARPOL, the marine pollution. So India is a signatory to MARPOL. So we have to have certain standards to avoid marine pollution. So therefore, any ship that is coming on shore, we have to take care of its all liquid waste as well as solid waste. That is our responsibility. While the ship is moving, the ship is also mandated to use recycled water, have a desalination plant. They also have to achieve certain standard of wastewater before they discharge it to the port. So these laws of international laws are in place, and all ports in India, including Mumbai port, we have to abide by these international laws. So presently, very less liquid waste or solid waste is coming at Mumbai port. But yes, in future, since Mumbai is going to be the cruise hub of the country, the cruise ships actually bring in a lot of waste, generate lot of waste. So what is being planned in the new city, that waste recycling facilities will be there, so that this waste presently we are transferring it to the Mumbai Municipal Corporation waste management facility. But much of that waste, how it can be recycled within the port premises itself. Second is how the solid waste can be better recycled. For that, we have actually started some pilot projects, and we also started a Mumbai Port Sustainability Foundation just a year back as a center of excellence for ESG and circularity in maritime, which has started working. And the various kind of scope 1, scope 2 and scope 3 emissions that is happening because of Mumbai port, that has all been inventorized, and a master plan being made that how up to 2047 we will be becoming net zero. So that is because we are part of the city. So that is why Mumbai port has taken it upon itself as a responsibility that we will try to become net zero as early as possible, maybe before 2047. Like 90% of the energy used at port right now for port operations, it's all renewable energy. And in future, it will be renewable energy surplus, the way plans are being made. So this is, but in the city that will come up, the plans are that all liquid waste that gets generated, how that grey water recycling will be used, so that just like Europe or Northern America and all, where per capita water consumption comes down to about 120 to 115 liters per person per day. In Mumbai it is 270 right now. And plus we will try to use desal water as well for drinking water purposes, so that the you can say burden of all this on the city water is minimized, because we all realize that Mumbai water is coming from Thane and Nashik areas, and cities are expanding in that part of the region, and that is why there will be a lot of pressure on this precious water for Mumbai as well. So that is why this new city is being designed in such a fashion that we take as minimum water from the city water sources as possible. So these are the various steps we are taking.
Thank you. Mr. Unhale, I have a question for you. With Mumbai soaring real estate prices, affordable housing remains a major challenge even today. What policy is the municipal administration introducing to ensure that lower income communities have access to affordable housing in the city, keeping in mind the growing urban landscape that we are looking forward?
So, housing in any mega city, anywhere in the world, it's just not Mumbai, anywhere in the world, is do have particular patterns. But I think Mumbai has been a pioneer in affordable housing for last 30 years. I would say, even the SRA, which started in 95, 96, was one of the very innovative planning tool, which allowed PPP, and also it did in situ construction of homes which were given to the existing people there. So that is also a way of affordable housing in a way. Number two, we started, I think in 2006-07, there was a major move on rental housing. Almost 20 years before this scheme came, the policy was thought of in the central government. The rental housing started from 2007, I think, and it also created housing stock, created TDR, increased the supply of FSI by allowing public-private partnership has been the hallmark in Mumbai. Even when MMRCL did the PAP under World Bank projects, Project Affected Person Resettlement, that also was a very innovative way in which 4 FSI was given. And yes, the affordability, in fact, some of them were free houses. So if you look at the pattern of affordable housing, we are talking of project affected person getting resettled, we are talking of the SRAs, we are talking of the rental housing, and of course the I think from 2005-06, there have been centrally sponsored schemes, as we now call missions, like the BSUP, the Basic Services for Urban Poor, the PMAY now I think is going in a and the number of housing. So the entire spectrum of government interventions starts from free housing to highly subsidized housing. Yes, the quantum of that needs to be increased. And probably some studies do say that a better recording of land properties can allow more frictionless transactions in properties, and then that itself could increase the supply of housing. And once the housing supply increase, obviously the pricing could be more manageable. But yes, the affordable housing issue is extremely complex, and probably, it's like waiting for Godot with Godot's impossibility, sir.
So are you trying to say like Sidco and MADA today sell affordable houses almost at 35 lakh plus Sidco's rate? MADA, which was otherwise known for selling affordable houses, they have started quoting in lakhs and crores today. So just want to check.
We need to understand in public policy, everything is weighted average. If you're going to cherry pick one example of 1 million and say what's happening, that I don't think would be, so public policy is a statistical game, it's a game of statistics. So we are trying to resolve, engage, interact with as much many people as possible. And of course, every segment of the society is to be, engaged with. So I think that would be a very minuscule example if at all it exists. Also.
Okay. My second question to you is, what are the biggest challenges you foresee in making Mumbai a model of sustainable growth, urban growth, and how can the government work with citizens, private sectors, and other stakeholders to overcome the challenge?
That will be a couple of PhDs.
If you can just throw and summarize that.
Yeah. So I think you actually have used all the keywords that are a part of answer. So in a way that has helped. So as we always say, we are in 2025 now. So the old models of even 1975 are not equally that applicable. Now things are moving very fast. So but yes, collaboration, that's a public-private partnership. Then city as a whole solutions, it is not that the municipality is fighting with its citizens and the typical, I won't be using word the activist, but that conflict, conspiracy, confrontational framework of running a city as such is not very, it doesn't give much results. So collaborations, partnerships and speed of execution. And of course some of the words that fill the echo chambers, climate, green, circular, net zero, etc., etc., etc. So that has to be indigenized and localized. So probably if something comes up in say Nordic countries and this is circularity, then obviously we can't copy paste that in a scenario of maybe Mumbai or India. So that local context of these keywords, I think, is also an important task, for the academicians and also the policy people, that we will have to find the Indian context of these modern challenges. Thank you.
Jerin, coming to you, because you ensure that like people who are the working force, they reach office on time, courtesy your Chalo bus. Now, first question that I have for you is, changing commuter behavior is crucial for the success of sustainable transport initiative. How is Cityflo addressing the challenge of encouraging more people to opt for public transport over private vehicle?
Thanks for the question. So I'll just go back to the question you'd asked earlier about how things will change in the future. And I'd spoken about the trains and the BST buses. And I'll put one data point which is very, it stuck with me for a very long time, which is about, I think the car owners or the car using population is about 11% of the commuter population, right? And we occupy about 75% of the road space. So it's very safe to say this 11% is probably the root of 80% of the problems that we have in Bombay. And even when we talk about livability of Bombay, other than, I think pricing on the housing side, I think this is probably the second biggest problem. And this is where everything intensifies. Ki yaar, pahunch hi nahi pa rahe hain, traffic jams hain, it's crowded and everything. So we realized all of this, like Mumbai's, arguably the biggest problem in Mumbai right now is traffic jams and traffic congestion. And that is personal cars and private cars, like let's say taxis and all of that. So what Cityflo does is try and reduce this and take this head on, right? Of course, we improve public transportation capacity, we increase metros and buses and all of that, and more of these people will move there. But there will always be a population which will move in cars. So what Cityflo does is takes the bus, packages it in a way that the service is better than me driving to work. It's as simple as that. It connects home to office in a point-to-point direction. 10 stops in the beginning, 10 stops in the end. Nothing in between. You book on the app. It's assured seats for everyone, air-conditioned buses. And it's priced like a car as well, because that is where the feasibility is. So that's exactly what Cityflo does. So Cityflo's aim is, out of the 1.5 crore people commuting in Bombay, if we can take 2-3 lakh people into Cityflo buses, that reduces our traffic congestion situation by 50%. That is where Cityflo comes in. It's a very tangential view on the city. And in fact, if you look at, we've looked at world over for such models, there's nothing like that, because no city across the world has had a problem of this intensity. So we see Cityflo as, there's trains and metros and buses on the extreme end of, the most affordable and larger scale solutions. But we see it between, like as a bridge between, personal vehicles and private cars and public transport where Cityflo comes in.
So on a lighter note, what do you use as a mode of transport?
I still don't have a Cityflo route from home to office, but otherwise, we have, so in fact, our office is in Thane, because while we build a commute company, we're absolutely clear the best commute is no commute, right? So a lot of us live in Thane and work out of Thane, so we can avoid that.
So having asked that question, I want to know, what is your vision for the future of Cityflo in the context of Mumbai's sustainable urban expansion? How do you see the role of services like Cityflo evolving in the next 10 to 20 years, knowing that Mumbai continues to grow?
I think it's a great question, right? So in the beginning, when you start, you want to be the only player doing it, right? You want to capture the entire market. As we see Bombay today, we run about 350 buses, so about 18,000 passengers a day. And this is the story, very similar situation we have in Delhi, Bangalore, where the traffic problems are intensifying slowly. We've estimated at least a requirement of 6,000 such buses, like Cityflo-like buses for Bombay. So what we have done, in fact, like, I don't know how familiar we are with this, but the reason there is no lasting bus private organization is profits are tough, right? We of course have the BST and such lasting entities. So what Cityflo has really done is taken a model and made it viable. Like we run profitable operations today. So I think now we are at a point where we're saying this category exists and this category is sustainable, this category is financially viable. So we would actually like more players to come in because 6,000 buses is not a trivial play and this is our requirement today. Right? So going 10, 20 years in the future, this number is only going to increase. So I think it's absolutely essential that there are, number of players who try and do this across routes.
So to summarize, I can say that a sustainable and efficient transport network will play a crucial role in making Amchi Mumbai not just a financial power hub, but a city where the movement of people is easy, eco-friendly and equitable. The road ahead is challenging, but with the insight and innovations shared today, I believe we are on the right path building a Viksit Bharat, where cities like Mumbai are not only thriving, but are also models of resilience, sustainability and innovation. I would like to thank the esteemed panelists for their invaluable contribution and to everyone who joined us today. Let us take the discussion forward, collaborate across sector, work towards creating a Mumbai which continues to be Mumbai Meri Jaan. With that, I want to throw open the dais to the audience to ask questions to the panel members. Thank you. Yes, please. I believe the mic would reach.
Mr. Venad, I liked your concept very much. It was very, very good. I think it is a very important part of the overall transport system. You said the very correct statistics that the so few cars occupy so much space. And space is more important than rupees in Mumbai. And I feel that there could be one more model, I would say, between the buses and Cityflo. And that we have worked successfully in BKC in 2016, where we had a dedicated bus lane. That was also, I would say, there could be 3 versions: regular buses, dedicated buses and Cityflo buses. So that incidentally, it cost 1 or 2 crore rupees for barrier building. And it carried 93,000 people, compared to Metro 3, 13,000 people per day. Just understand, Metro spent 38,000 crore rupees, now carrying, of course it will grow, but in the 3rd month, what we achieved in the 1st month, 93,000 people on the bus lane, whereas Metro achieved after 3 months, 13,000 and spending 38,000 crore rupees. Kuch to hisab rakhna chahiye. And I feel that what you have given is a very good solution in the overall range of the public transportation model. It was somehow some kind of intermediate transport. I think that's a very good contribution. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you for the kind words. And in fact, Rajiv has pointed one thing. So in fact, what I'd like to share is what is most rewarding for us is in fact, when we look at 100 people using Cityflo today, 65, 70 of them are car owners and 50 of them are actually moving directly from driving their car or taking a cab to Cityflo. Thank you so much.
Can I?
Yeah.
He just answered my question. I was going to ask, have you checked out of your 18,000, how many have given up commuting by car to office and have moved to Cityflo? So I understand the number is 50%, right?
70% are car owners, but there was a 20 who was already using some other mode because they can't drive. But 50 of them moved directly from cars to Cityflo.
As in they stopped using their cars and they got into Cityflo.
Yeah.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Okay. I just want a comment from all the panelists on walkability, because we were talking last mile connectivity, and honestly there was no conversation in the panel on walkability at all, as if it doesn't exist, because the comprehensive transport survey a few years back said that every day 25 million or 2.5 crore walking trips are happening.
Thank you for asking that question, because that was there to follow, but we had to cut short.
No, but I think it's extremely important.
Yeah,
Mumbai as a
very,
city
very valid point.
lends itself
Accepted.
very well
Yeah.
to walkability, and it will be great if we can have some quick comments from all the three panelists. Thank you.
You have to understand the logic of modal split in city mobility. You are not going to walk 50 kilometers a day. So you will be walking 500 meters. So what we have to understand so basically we will have to understand, as I said, that if there are 1.6 crore people traveling at average 50 kilometers a day, average, so there are those many passenger kilometers, out of that, 0.001% will be led to the centers of, modal transfers. That when you are walking from, probably when you are shifting from your office to your the first mode that you will pick up, it might be rickshaw or bus or whatever, that walkability is there. I know the activism mode of footpaths and it's not getting maintained properly and the street hawkers are, I know that, like, we all know that, that's going on for the last 30 years and 40 years probably. And probably it has an optimal equilibrium has been attained in this. So either you be happy with it or you cry about it. There's no two options. There's no third option here. So what needs to be done is probably, of course, the areas like maybe BKC or Nariman Point or adjoining the local stations. If you remember 2007, 8, 9, there was a major walkability initiative taken, forget the organization, of almost 3,000 crores put in for the station area development and traffic dispersal mechanism. That was an extremely scientific project which was done. That because local then of course was the main center, and obviously all the modal transfers happened at the local station, because if either your bus goes there, your taxi goes there, your rickshaw goes there, you walk to there. So all the modal transports that we have, modes of transport that we have, used to get covered in station, and that's why I felt it was almost a 3,000 crore project done in 2007, 8, 9, I don't recollect exactly. Almost 50 odd station areas were to be developed then. So that was one of a massive infusion done in investment very scientifically to target the most, critical area of modal transfers in high dense areas like local station. Two, of course, the walkability within centers will have to be tried. Third, of course, I agree that footpaths have to be done, they have to be developed, but you have to understand, if you are having, say, 7,000 kilometers long footpaths, then there will be maintenance schedules and maybe delays into that. So everything is not bad or conspiracy or conflict or confrontation or those sort. These are the, if something works at 90%, then we'll get 10% if it requires some time onto that. And of course the delay element does come into it. But probably the recent talks of new urbanism, it's like new urbanism or new green urbanism, does talk of 15-minute city. If you have, that's a hot area now in land use planning, that in city planning, that I think Charles Moreno, who's based in Paris, has come up with this idea that every city or any and everything should be available in the 15 kilometers walk. It's called as 15-minute city. So that concept is also coming up. So probably investments into the walkability has also been done under the National Sustainable Urban Transport Plan of 2008, policy of 2008, which was brought during Jerin era. So that walkability issues has been done. But yes, this is the challenge of, the maintenance schedules and the street hawking livability, if I might say so. So probably personal views, of course.
Mr. Jalota, if you can reply to him, and then we can...
Samir has covered everything. Only the issue is, I have worked in Mumbai Municipal Corporation, so with my experience, I will just say that it's a collaboration of agencies. That is very important, and unfortunately that is lacking. Various agencies have to work at the same place. So actually, a small example I will give. I had been to Jamshedpur in 2008. And Jusco is the company of Tata's which is managing a part of that city. And they were following a Japanese model. That particular stretch of the cities were given to certain agencies. And everything to do with that road, be it sewer, be it stormwater, be it road, be it footpath, be it electricity, telephone, anything. It will be one agency will be responsible to maintain that. I believe we have to do certain pilots of these kinds, and there is an issue here, but we have to take it somewhere, start it somewhere, to do some small pilots, and if that is a success, I believe this walkability issue can be tackled. Let us see.
Jerin, if you can quickly finish off replying, then we can... I think one more question coming in from there. Okay, fair. So we can take the next question to come in. There also? Okay, fair. Two more questions too, and then we can wind. Yeah? Please, Jerin, if you can.
Yeah, I have very little to add to the solution of the problem, than Samir sir and Rajiv sir have added. But I do wholeheartedly agree with Rishi sir on that being an extremely important first and last mile mode of commute. So everything I know is just from a personal thing. I think, I don't know if there were more cleanliness initiatives or something like that. I think that would make it a lot more better. That's just from personal experience, but wholeheartedly agree with. There's no point of disagreement.
Last question, sorry.
There's two more questions. One coming on from the right side. There's one senior person there, and the third one. So we'll just quickly wrap it up so that like all the three questions are answered. Yeah.
Thank you. So this question acknowledges that a number of efforts have been made in the past for walkability, pavements, this, that. But we've also noticed that every time we've created pavements, what we've done is create space for shanties and shops. We've seen that whenever we've created space for, say, cycling tracks, what we've done is created parking space for taxis and so on. So given this reality in Bombay, which is unlikely to go away, do we need to look at this problem differently? Are we trying to fit somebody else's solution into our context and repeatedly failing?
So you want Mr. Jalota to answer that question? Or you want the urban expert, Mr. Unhale?
The brave panelist.
In fact, what you are saying is correct. Recently what we are observing in Mumbai is the traffic police, how they are giving tickets. And that's a very good way to put sense of discipline in the citizenry. And I think we have to have that system also in place of how to penalize. I think one of the municipal commissioners in the recent past tried to have some sense of discipline on the roads by taking out some of the private vehicles. That this is a public road and this private vehicle will not be, otherwise higher taxes will be, there will be surcharges. But I think it could not pass through. Could not, these are larger issues of public policy, but yes, they need to be deliberated and talked about, definitely. Unfortunately, what happens, what I am observing now, I have got out of government, I can speak slightly freely, that these issues are not coming in the papers that much. It should be continuously deliberated and at least in a very, very systemic, constructive manner, that yes, this is an issue, we have these ideas, how educational institutions, research institutions can be brought in. They should be given some leverage and to work on. These are very important things because it is not only administrators have answers to everything. There are a lot of good intellectuals and people available all around, and we all have to work together for a common cause. And plus, some tough hand from the government is needed.
The gentleman there, next to
So
Sashant.
sorry, we'll have to
The
cut it
last
short.
week.
Yeah, we are running out
Yeah,
of
we'll
time.
just cut it short. Yeah, he has been trying for a long time.
A.V. Shenoy from Mumbai Mobility Forum. My question is to Mr. Jalota. The MBPT plan for the, the space now, that is land which is now becoming vacant, the Rani Jadhav report and all that which was there. Now it is only talking about using the land for marina and all such things. Okay. But Mumbai needs the land for affordable housing, which is one of the major issues, today the prices being unaffordable. But unfortunately, MBPT is not considering any land available for the affordable housing. What you have to say for that?
In fact, in that plan about, it is felt that 3 lakh people will be staying there, out of which around 80,000 will be affordable. That is the whole plan in that. So there is a space for affordability. One thing has to be kept in mind, that you are on the sea front. The seafront has to be put for tourism and recreation purposes to really make a city lively. So you have to make a compromise. If you use the waterfront land for any kind of just housing, I think it will not serve the purpose. So the waterfront part has been used for all leisure, and the behind part means 100, 200 meters behind, then commercial or residential will start. And 80,000 out of 3 lakhs is a fair enough for affordable housing.
I think with that we come to the end of our session. Thank you. Thank you the panel members for taking out time and coming out here, sharing your thought. Thank you for the wonderful audience over here. It's a pleasure.
Thank you so much. Kindly do stay back, and I request Ms. Pinky Mehta to kindly come on stage to present the mementos. Thank you. Also request Mr. Kekare, our DG sir, and our team to come for a group photograph. Thanks.
Join for the. This will be better.
Thank you so much. As we reach the end of the session, I invite Mr. Sandeep Ghosla, our Director General, Bombay Chamber, to deliver the vote of thanks. Thank you.
Thanks, Gayatri. My privilege to attend such a inspiring and such a wonderful conversation. Both panels were, I think, very, very good. It was so heartening to know from Mr. Sanke's presentation that in the next 10-12 years, we will have infrastructure which is going to be much better, but at the same time, more importantly, the population is not going to increase. So I think we are heading for a far better infrastructure than we have currently. We can already see a lot of changes which are happening. I remember, 30 years back, I used to travel from Thane to Mumbai. Nariman Point was my office, and it was a nightmare coming in local train in the morning. You just couldn't do that. In the evening, while going back, you had a similar situation where you couldn't travel by train and roads were chock-a-block. If you want to go by road, it used to take at least 4 hours. This was before the sign flyover being made and those things. If you look today, the city is already adjusted. So every major city adjusts. And that's where, the Bombay Chamber as well as our trust, that is the Bombay City policy, has been instrumental in speaking to various corporates to keep on adjusting. So the workplace 30 years back was only Nariman Point. You stayed in the suburbs, you traveled to Mumbai. If you look at it today, the working place has completely shifted. In fact, Nariman Point is far less. It is now a lot of consul generals and others, airline offices, but cities shifted to low apparel, to BKC, to Andheri, Thane. I mean, Jerin is talking about working and staying in Thane. So most of us actually are the 11% who's traveling by roads. A lot of us have also opportunities to look at infrastructure as we want. So we are privileged enough to sometimes have our offices very close to our house. The way the area I stay in, there's a building in the same complex which has got all the Tata's company shifted, so they've also had their employees staying in the same. So they walk to office currently. So, infrastructure will keep on changing. We'll have to keep on adjusting. Also look at shopping. 30 years back from Thane, from New Bombay, you had to only come to city for shopping. Today, you don't even need to come. So if you're working in Thane, you decide, I'm going to the city today. And that's a big thing to do for people who are not commuting. So the chambers always, going to have these conversations to ensure as to how the city can get better and how the corporate can help in this, because we play a major role in terms of driving both the corporates as well as speaking to the stakeholders. This was a wonderful session, and as our President Pinky Mehta has initially said, we are also celebrating our 189th Foundation Day today. We were instrumental in getting railways to India and driving a lot of other initiatives as far as infrastructure is concerned. As we go along, we would want all of you all to help us, write to us, so that the chamber keeps on having these knowledge to make the city better, to make corporates better. And in case you're not a member, please join us. We have a QR code here. Like this, we do almost 120 to 130 events in a year. These are training sessions, these are certification courses, these are various knowledge sessions on everything, right from the old traditional income tax to the new age DNI and sustainability. So thank you all of you for being here, for being a part of this. I thank our chairperson of the committee, Amit. Thank you for organizing this, for giving this knowledge, and invite all of you to join us for lunch.